everybody, and welcome to the Intuitive Heart Healer podcast. My name is Valerie McLaughlin. I am your host for this wonderful podcast. And today I wanted to talk to you about energy. Over the last couple weeks, I have taken time for myself and allow myself to what I call recalibrate. I was feeling all over the place energetically. Like I was being pulled in so many different directions. And so what I did is I took a step back and I disconnected myself from a lot of things. One, if you haven't noticed, was the podcast. I haven't had one out in a couple weeks. And doing lives and going live every day was another part of me kind of taking a step back. And during this time that I took to myself, and I'm still taking the time for myself, it gave me more time to go back to what I call the basics. And it's not going back to something that was the same, because it's never the same. As we move forward, things change and we grow, but going back and every day and spending time journaling, actually multiple times a day, journaling different things, whether it's my dreams or gratitude or asking a question and just journaling whatever comes through. Daily card pulls for myself to reflect on, meditations, and I say yes, meditations, because I do multiple different kinds of meditations, and so I allow myself to meditate even more. However, I felt called to meditate and also to get more movement into my body, because I've been really still and stagnant in that department. And a lot of that movement that I wanted to happen was getting back outside and walking, whether in nature, whether it was at the beach or hiking in the woods, combination of both. It felt really, really good to actually go back and do that. And also cooking. That's something I love to do. That's something that brings me joy and ignites my joys. And in a lot of the cards that I was pulling, it's like going with your passions, your joys, and things like that. And crocheting. I am working on one of the many blankets, and part of that is a connection to my grandma, which I'm not going to go into now. But the time away from doing all the things that I was doing, and sometimes getting in my head that they had to be done, or they had to be done by a certain time, and there is none. And I needed to I needed to pull back, because energetically I could feel it affecting me. And so I wanted to come back and talk to you about energy, because it's really important, because everything is energy. We are all energy. Every table, every seat is energy. Every TV, every chair, every car, every person, every plant is all energy. I mean, I could go on about everything being energy. And we all vibrate at a different frequency, and different things within our body vibrate differently. They have a different frequency. And so over the years, as I worked with energy, I have learned and grew with energy and learning about it. And it's not that necessarily that I flipped and changed my ideas. It's that I've listened and I've seen and I felt, and I allowed it to evolve and take me in different directions. And one of these things, I'm going to give you an analogy to kind of help you understand what I'm talking about, is when you're a kid, you may experience apples. For the longest time, I remember as a kid that I only knew of red apples and didn't realize that they were green apples. And then I realized there were yellow apples. And then I realized that they were like a reddish yellow apple, and that apples actually had different shapes. But when I was younger and somebody said something about an apple, my first instinct was to go back to what I now learn is a red, delicious apple. But it was just, to me, that a kid was a red apple. And then you learn that all these apples have different names, and some might look a little similar, but they have different names. And then when you bite into the apple, it tastes different. The texture's different. The skin is different. And this is like the evolution of things that you learn. And energy is something that you learn. You learn to understand it a little bit more. You learn to feel it more. And you learn that there's so many different types of energies out there. So many different frequencies of energy out there. And that we all, as human beings, or beings having a human experience, all have different energy. And that certain things within our body also have different frequencies of energy. And that we all connect to this energy differently. Just like there's all these different apples, they grow differently in different environments with different soil. That's how we are. And that's how everything is energetically. It's all different, but there's a lot of similarities. And part of the reason why I'm expressing this is because how I see and feel and understand energy may be different than you. And that's okay. So what I would like you to do is listen with an open heart and feel what feels right to you. Take that as yours if you wish, and something that doesn't feel right to you, just let it go. Because your experience may have been different than mine. And I may be adding something new to something that you didn't even know about. So use your discernment, listen with your heart, and take what you would like from this podcast today. And go from there. So everything's energy. We vibrate at a different energy. And to kind of like maybe help us see this a little bit, I was teaching a young kid about this, and I put my hands up and I said, do you feel the energy coming through your hands? Because we all feel touch with our hands, but we can all feel energies with our hands. We have like these energy vortexes with us. Whenever I do this, I think of the Iron Man and he had that circle in his hand. And I believe even Jesus talked about that we all have these circles in our hands to heal, which some people call them chakras in our hands for us to feel the energy. So I was putting my hands up and talking to this young kid about it, and they didn't get it. They got it, but they didn't get the feeling of the energy. And so a few weeks later, the mother reaches out to me and told me that each day that this kid is like saying, Mommy, come here, I want to feel your energy, and putting her hands up and attempting to feel the energy. And so sometimes when you're bringing this down with a kid, you have to give them tools to see it. And so there's a couple of techniques that I use to kind of show how you can disrupt energy and change energy and show them. And one of them is like rubbing a balloon on your head like you did with a kid and putting it on the wall. Because there's nothing there but energy connecting the two pieces together. And you build up enough of this energy to have this pull that it attaches to the wall. So you're creating energy. And we do this within our body, within our energetic body. There's different things that we can do, or sometimes things that happen to us that disrupt our energy. And it's hard to see. You don't see how the balloon will attach to the wall. And you might sit there and try to put your face up against the wall and try to see it and see how, but you can't see it. But if you actually go to pull the balloon away from the wall, you could feel it. And so energy is a lot about feeling. And some of us are clairvoyant and we can actually see it when we look at somebody. And for me, it's a combination of a lot of different, it's a feeling, it's a knowing, sometimes it's a hearing, and sometimes it's a seeing. And so you may be different, and that's okay, and you just experience energy however it is that you experience energy. We all feel it in one way or another. When you feel happy or sad, that's all energy. So we have these energetic vortexes within our body that we talk about a lot, or that you've heard people talk about a lot, which are called chakras. And we have many, many of them. And there's 7 of them that runs from our tailbone to just above the top of our head. We have a little bit more, and in another episode, maybe I will start talking a little bit more about the different chakras, like the solar star chakra, the navel chakra, the earth star chakra that connects us to Mother Earth. But these chakras all vibrate differently. They all move different frequencies. They all are tuned to different frequencies. But they get disrupted from things that we eat, traumas, our environment, all those things. And one of the things that people always ask me is what one of my chakras is blocked. And I said, how about we talk about different ways that we can get the chakras moving back at the proper frequency. But I had this one guy, and he was really, really persistent. Each week he would ask me, what chakra is blocked? My daughter wants to know what chakras are blocked. And I said, well, I don't really look at them that way. I said, I don't really look at them being blocked. I look at them being overactive sometimes or underactive, but I don't look at them being blocked because energy flows. And as much as you try to contain energy, the energy can flow through different things. Like I am energetically connecting to all of you as my viewers. And as I am talking and I'm sending out healing, loving energy, because that is an intention that I have, that with my words and my energy, that I send out all this love and spread all this love to all of you. And so that energy is moving out through you. You're hearing the frequency in my words. And that is being poured out to all of you. No matter where you are on this great Mother Earth. Because the energy knows no time, knows no space. And we can try to do our best to contain energy, and we can to a point, but there's always parts that are seeping out. And you can see this if you ever, we all kind of, I guess, experienced in 2020 of possibly most of us of wearing a mask, and you could tell by the mask that not all the air is contained. It's like energy, it's not all contained in that spot. It does the best to do it, but it's not all. So I look at it as things are being overactive or underactive. So we're disrupting the energy in some way. And when you work with energy, like with the energy healing, like Reiki or shaman energy healing or sound healing or any type of healing, because it's all energy. What we're doing is ancestral healing and quantum healing and all those stuff. All we're doing is really working to disrupt the energy that's already disrupted, to get it in a way that it's flowing much more easily within your body. The way that the energy in that moment can flow for your highest good, for your body, mind, and spirit. At least that's how I work. And so it's not necessarily that your energy is blocked. It just might be spinning, going a little too fast, and we have to slow it down a little bit, or going a little too slow that we need to spin it up. And that is what we're doing when we're working with energy. And some of this is with the energy healing, but you also do it with your thoughts, what you feed yourself, because everything is energy. And you can shift the energy of whatever it is that you are eating or drinking. Just like you can shift your thoughts by whatever you're thinking. So if you are thinking that you don't have enough of something, you can change your thought and say, I am abundant. And as you say more than I am abundant, it brings in more abundance. It aligns you with that energy. So if you're eating something and maybe you got it from an unknown source, all the people that touched it to put this together has imprinted their energy on it. So if you actually take a moment to hold the food within your energy, whether it's something like a water bottle and you can hold it to your heart around your hands and just bring in your love and your vibration and divine love into it, you're changing the frequency and the energy of the water before you actually drink it. If you're taking your hands and you're putting it over your food and you're just saying a moment of guidance or gratitude and just blessing the food, you're changing the vibration of the food that you're about to eat, so that the vibration of what you want to put in your body, you're actually helping put into your body. So there's so many different ways that we can shift energy and change energy to help ourselves feel better, help us be in our highest state of good, our highest state of being. And you can also do that with prayer and gratitude and with your connection. And I'm going to do another podcast about energetically connecting, because that's a whole nother podcast than I want to get into today. But the other part is that our body's energy, so when something is maybe not the best within your body or not right for your body can tell you this information. That's why muscle testing is really good. Using yourself as a pendulum, or doing the yes and no with your arm, if you stick your arm out. And your body has all this wisdom and knowledge it's gained over the years from being through collecting it through your energy and knows all the answers and can give you answers to questions that you are seeking. So there's so much that you can actually do with this energy, and there's so much that you can do to shift your energy. So like I started the podcast, I felt like my energy was kind of going all over the place, like was being pulled. So part of what I had to do was cut cords, because I do cut cords a lot, but I just had maybe not as done it as intentionally as I should have when I was sitting there doing all these lives. And so people were connecting to me and pulling on my energy. And then I had so many different things that I was doing on so many different platforms, showing up differently, and that was pulling all over my energy. So taking the time to kind of go back to basics, things that I were doing but maybe not as consistently, or maybe I was doing one and not the other, and kind of take them on, just kind of group them all together to help me recenter myself and help bring the wholeness back, which is important for us all to do, all to take the time doing. So if you can implement some things into your life that will help you to stay balanced or to rebalance yourself, that would be good. A morning practice and evening practice, and it doesn't have to be long. 5 minutes in the morning to journal your gratitudes, 5 minutes at night to journal your gratitudes, or 10 minutes in the moment to write your dreams down, or meditate, exercise, whatever that looks for you. I like to call it body movement because that's just my thing, because I like to do things that bring me pleasure, whatever that looks like. And it's usually walking. Walking outside brings me the most happiness and pleasure. So there's different things that you can do to bring yourself back to wholeness and bring yourself back to oneness and recalibrate your own energy so that you can show up and be the high vibrational person that you are. What I would like you to take away from this is to realize that as you evolve and grow, you'll learn a little bit more about energy. When I do my energetic work, I don't necessarily always work with the chakras. Actually, I've got away with it almost from the beginning, but I do talk about it because the chakra system is easier for people to relate to and understand, and it is important. Don't get me wrong, there are important parts of it, and it helps to know what the chakra system is to get information on yourself, and for me as a energy worker. But when I tap into energy and I'm working with people, I've always tapped into their guides and their higher self and angels, whoever comes forward. And I have mine too. And I always allow the healing to be guided where it is asking to be guided at that moment. And it has evolved over time that my healings are beginning to look different and change because I have a better and greater understanding and understanding that I don't always have to use myself as that vessel to channel the healing, that I can connect you to your own healing and allow that healing to come down through you. So it evolves and changes and grows, and it's endless, and there's so many different things that you can do to shift your energy, and so many different ways that you can help allow the energy to flow more freely through you. And with this, it is a way for us all to also communicate. So maybe that's another podcast too in and itself. We can start talking about telepathy and things like that. So I think I'm going to end it here today. I hope you guys got something out of this. Please comment, let me know, send me an email. If there's something that you're looking for, of a question that maybe I didn't answer that you would like answered, and I can set that up as another podcast or shoot you an email back if that's easier to answer that question. Please feel free to email me at intuitivehearthealer@gmail.com. You can check out my website at intuitivehearthealer.com. I'm on Instagram and TikTok at intuitivehearthealer. And until then, go out and spread some love in this world. I am sending all my love to all of you. Till next time, bye bye for now.